Three, two, talk. Welcome back to Fordham Talk. I'm here with Josh Palma. My name's Nick. At CrossFit Fordham, we train for life. That means going upstairs doesn't wind you, just leaves you wanting more.
That is true. I was talking with someone. They started CrossFit at our gym probably like 3 months ago, and he's consistent. And I asked him how he liked it, how he was doing. He said the biggest noticeable difference is at work he has to go up and down stairs a lot, and that it did not make him tired, or it doesn't make him tired
There you
anymore.
go. I didn't even know that story, and that was the intro for this podcast.
That's crazy.
Amazing.
I think it's simple things like that you kind of take for granted. That most people that don't work out, that is a reality of their life, that they get tired when they go up and down stairs.
Yeah. All of us have a very short perspective of what fitness means. When you're younger, when you're more capable, it's like you're only ever thinking of like what you can do right now and how much I can lift today or how fast I can go on this workout. But the stuff that you're banking up for later in life is huge. Like being able to move around independently, get up and down stairs. Like I saw a video the other day of like he was 103-year-old man. And he was like in some pottery class, like doing his thing. And the guy was able to like stand up and sit down from like a really low stool around like a pottery wheel and, like moving around the clay and whatnot. And I'm like, man,
Wow.
that's the goal.
100 and what?
103.
Wow.
Can you imagine
Yeah,
that? 1923.
I saw a stat. If you don't have the CrossFit Games app, this year, noticeably, they had like these recaps after each workout. And then they had a recap after the whole Open, and they said that the person that was the oldest that did the Open was 96.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Was there a youngest?
Youngest is 14. I mean, I'm sure there's someone younger than 14 because the
Yeah.
did in the kids class, they did partner versions of it. But I think
Oh, our
you could
CrossFit
sign
Kids
up.
class.
Our CrossFit Kids class did partner versions of the
Nice.
open workouts.
Nice.
But to sign up, you have to be 14. So, of course, it's going to be
Right.
14 as the youngest. But yeah, 96. That's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's wild.
I wonder if there'll be someone that hits like doing the Open 50 plus times or something like that,
Yeah, I would love to know that.
That's insane.
This is my 12th.
Well, let's jump into that a little bit.
Yeah.
So we just wrapped up the Open.
Yep.
My perspective was completely from the stands because I have some messed up shoulder that is just a bummer. So I had to sit it out this year, which was not fun, but I got to see it from afar a little bit and keep tabs on how everyone was doing, which was cool. What's your assessment of this year's Open? How did you like it?
Oh man, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of opinions, I think, that are out there, from the worst Open ever to the best Open ever. And I think it all boils down to, I think this Open was so different. It's what it felt like. The workouts were just different because usually, we have a repeat workout, so you've done one before. There was just some movements that we didn't do that you thought you were going to do. That's always the Open, right? You're always thinking, what are we going to do? You're trying to figure it out. We always do this. We never do this, all this kind of stuff. And I think he freshened it up a little bit. And it was, I think, and you can get into, they were all the same time domain. They were all this. It's a lot of squatting. But I think what it all comes down to, and what I was telling people, is I really loved it because CrossFit we know this, is you're training for the unknown, right? So no matter what comes out in a 3-week open, it's not going to be a comprehensive test of your fitness. You cannot do that in 3 weeks. You can't even do that in 5 weeks, I don't think. Maybe a little bit better in 5 weeks. But what I think you need to understand about the open is that there's going to be 3 workouts, and they come out, and they're either going to, you're going to do well at them, or they're going to expose you in some type of way. And I think all those 3 had a little bit different things that people got exposed by, and that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing to do a workout, go hard, and be like, man, I think I could have done better at this, or I need to be better at this, or I want a pull-up, I want a chest bar, I want a certain skill that I don't have. And I think all 3 of those workouts had something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's okay to critique the workouts a little bit. Um, it's almost like 2 separate conversations. Like if the workouts have some things that like maybe could have been changed to make it a slightly more well-rounded test. Like you said, it's never going to be comprehensive in 3 weeks. That's just not possible. Um, are there ways it can be a little bit more well-rounded than others? Sure. But that's like kind of separate from the issue of like the value of the open. Like the
Exactly.
value of the open isn't in the actual specific workouts. Like
Right.
that's part of it is like
Yep.
testing yourself in these ways, and like you're saying that the workouts are going to expose things, holes in your fitness, maybe even strengths in your fitness. But the value of the open is not in the well-rounded aspects of the workouts.
Right. And
Um,
that's something that I want everyone to understand. Like there's so much out there. And there's something to, yes, I think critiquing programming, right? We follow Mayhem, and there's a lot of things that we change. There's a lot of things that we think, right, fit our population better. So you can always pick apart a workout no matter what. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because that's what came out of the hopper, right? The hopper model. Whatever, you spin that thing up, whatever comes out, you got to do it. So, yes, looking back, you can be like, oh, I wish that there was a rower in there instead of this. Or why did he put the box step overs there? Or whatever it may be. But I kind of like the idea of, okay, yep, this is the workout. That's a lot of wall balls. A lot of people hate wall balls. And here we go. Let's do it. All right, let's work on our squatting endurance. Let's see how your squatting endurance is. And I think one of the biggest things that people don't understand in CrossFit, and we want to help you understand, is pacing. All those workouts had to do with pacing. Right? A lot of times when you start CrossFit or you're doing someone's onboard and you're teaching them movements and you have a workout, a lot, and probably still people today in a CrossFit gym think that whenever they see a number of reps, they have to do it unbroken. Or they see a 15-minute workout and they go as hard as they possibly can in the first minute. Your fitness will get better if you learn to pace. And I think I had a conversation, I don't think he'd mind me sharing this, but Tommy is a person who 3, 2, 1, go is going full out, going for it from the beginning. And we had conversations. The first one, a lot of people were like, I'm going to hold on this wall ball. I'm going to jump really fast, all those kinds of things. And actually, slowing it down actually helped you better in that workout. You could break that thing. I watched someone do it in 5s and get pretty far in the wall balls. It's a long workout, right? 15 minutes. And I had a conversation with Tommy of, hey, we have to work on pacing a little bit where you don't come out so hot, right? And you kind of ease into it and treat it as a longer workout. And we have different domains. And in the second one and the third one, he worked on that, and he was like, I felt so much better throughout that. And I endured longer. I was able, it's still hard workouts. But it's just, that's the value of the open. You learn something. You learn you're not
Yeah.
good at something. You learn you need to work on this. You have a weakness, whatever it may be. Maybe you weren't consistent throughout the year, right? And it showed, right? Your fitness wasn't where you wanted it to be. So that's the value of the open. That's why I want and we want people to do the open, not because I want you to send $20 to HQ. That's not the reason why. I want it because there is something about, we kind of talked about this in the open episode, where you show up for something, commit something, and you do it. And not to mention everyone that comes around and you're judging someone, you're helping someone, and you see people working hard, it's invaluable.
Yeah. No, that's good. I'm gonna push back on you on something, because if we had a podcast where we agreed on everything, that would be really boring, right?
Yeah.
Well, so I agree with you that in the open, when you are trying to put forth your best effort in a workout and to like tap into every ounce of fitness that you have and apply it to the test.
Mm-hmm.
Pacing, absolutely important. And the interesting thing about when an open workout comes out and there's 10,001 people with their open strategy guides or whatever, it's like almost all of that is irrelevant, because you have to know your own fitness. Like, there could be an amazing strategy for you that would send me crashing and burning at some point, and my strategy might do the same for you, right? So there's for sure like a very valid approach to like doing your best in an open workout and applying a pacing strategy that helps, because you want it to be the biggest expression of your fitness, or the most accurate, right? But I think that is a separate thing from like a day-to-day training approach. Like, one of the core pieces of CrossFit, intensity. People love to pace way too much to where they like tone that down in their workouts. So I think there's a ton of value in Tommy's approach. I think I've actually even told him this in a workout before, of like, he might have asked me like, oh, how are you going to pace this, or how are you going to do this, or whatever. And there is no pacing in my day-to-day training for the most part. It's like, send it. Like, there's value to like actually heading into a workout intending and knowing that you're going to crash and burn. Because what that does is brings you all the way up to the line of your threshold and your capacity, and makes you hang out there for a while. Does it get you the best score in a workout? Absolutely not. Does it oftentimes make you suffer a little bit more in your workout? Yes, oftentimes, for sure. And it's not something that you should do every single workout forever, because then you'll never learn the skill of pacing and getting the most that you can out of a test. But I do think it should be the bulk of your training is go for it. Go hard.
100%. I agree with you. I agree with you in certain aspects. Like, you can't do it every day, right?
Yeah.
Because that, I think, will create burnout, because you're just getting just wrecked and you're redlining and that kind of thing. And there is the other side. We've talked about this before, not on the podcast, but just me and you, of the old days. There was no pacing. There was no stimulus. There was no, right, when you talk about at the board, we didn't really have a stimulus.
No goal times.
No goal times, anything like that. Now, I think there is a place for that, because everyone has such different fitness levels, and sometimes you should just let loose and go. Now, is that on a 15-minute AMRAP? I don't think so, because take, for instance, the first open workout. You hold onto those wall balls, you jump as fast as you can on those box jump overs, and you have 15 minutes of work, and you can barely do 3 wall balls at a time. I saw it happen. Barely 3 at a time. That's something I think you just have to learn about yourself. Now, yes, is there, like, should everyone break up the wall balls that much? No. There's not one strategy for every person. But I'm more talking about in the way of, like, I think you hit the nail on the head. You have to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next Monday we have Jackie. Right, next Monday is the benchmark Jackie. 1,000-meter row, 50 thrusters, 30 pull-ups. That's a 10-minute or less workout. You can go all out on that one and see what happens. Right now, I know what happens when you do that. But for someone that, yeah, if you want the intensity, go all out. But I think CrossFit is just learning. It's just you have to learn yourself. Learn yourself. When you see a set of 20 pull-ups, you do not always have to go unbroken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like those kinds of things that I'm talking about where if you never learn that you can break up your pull-ups and be okay, like it'll help you. I think you're missing out.
No, yeah, and that's valid too. That like if you're doing that to where like you're so lit up that you like are spending half of an actual workout doing nothing, that's not good.
Right.
um,
Well, that was crazy because that first one was like that. It was absolutely it was really hard. On paper, it didn't look that bad, but you got into it, you're like, oh man, I'm only 4 minutes into this, and I'm in rough shape.
yeah, totally. Especially in the context of like an AMRAP with a fixed time domain. The goal in a workout like that is to accomplish the most amount of work in the time that you have.
Right.
So if you just completely hit a wall and there's lots of time left, like there's diminishing returns on that approach. So
Yeah.
I guess there's nuance to it all.
Yeah. I
Well,
think. Yeah. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I think it's with the open. This always kind of happens. You know, you have the 3 weeks. It's awesome, and then it's like, okay, now what? Like you do the open. Okay, I did that. I'm whatever in the world. I see my scores. Now, what do I do? I think that's a question that, and something that I've tried to talk with many people about on the last week. Like, how do I get better? Like how, and we've talked about this before, is like, how do you get better? How do you get fitter? How do you get stronger? And I think one thing that you can do is in this next year, just be more consistent. Like, how do you get better leg endurance? How are you able to handle the 95-pound thrusters that's not close to your 1 rep max? Like, how do you keep getting stronger? Those types of things. You literally just have to show up to class, trust your coaches, listen to your coaches, because we do workouts like this all the time. And just by showing up, you'll get better. But you have to be consistent. Like, you can't go 1 time this week, 0 times next week, okay, maybe 3 the next week, and then you're back to 1. You really have to think about, how can I be consistent and put a plan together of just showing up. I think that's number one. Number one, that's how you can get better in the next year.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, yeah, I think I would agree with that. Most people, like, unless you have like many years of CrossFit under your belt, maybe it's like there's specific ways you need to change your training or specific things you need to do to improve. For the vast majority of people, exactly what you're saying is the best advice. You have to get yourself in the door and let the process do its thing.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is to take your nutrition more seriously. Like if you can be the most consistent person in the world in the gym and the most inconsistent with what you put in your body, and your results are going to go into the garbage can. So
Yeah.
that is I mean, I saw this in the early years of CrossFit or even in the early years of the Open, where people that did nothing different with their training, they showed up the same amount, but they all of a sudden took their nutrition seriously and their fitness went through the roof. So if you're still neglecting that, tap into our one-on-one nutrition coaching at CrossFit Fordham. it should be a rite of passage for anyone that does CrossFit to get some kind of nutrition coaching at some
Yeah.
point. It doesn't need to be forever, but it should be required.
I think consistency is really important. But I agree with you. I tell everyone the number one thing you could do for yourself to get fitter and healthier, right? Healthier, more emphasis on that for me. Honestly, just my perspective has changed from owning a gym. Like, I want you to be healthy. Is just you have to learn what kind of foods you should be eating and how much.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not thinking about it in the way of a diet. Like, I'm not trying to restrict you. I'm just trying to help you understand that your body is a machine and it works and you need it and you only get one of it for the rest of your life. You don't get another one.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that it needs fuel and it needs to be fueled the right way. And when you work out and you put those two things together, you literally will change your life. You'll change your life by being consistent working out, but you add nutrition on top and you learn how to eat right and eat the appropriate amount for your goals. It just changes everything.
Yeah. 100%, man.
What
All right.
what would be on that nutrition note, just real quick? What, like, steps, right? What we have, just the body scan, right? The body scan, it's $10. You sit down with probably me or Aiden, and we just go over what's in that body scan. What's super helpful in that body scan? Something to know.
Something to know is that if the only insight you have into your body composition is your weight on the scale, you're like basically uninformed. Like, the weight on scale is probably pretty far down the list of like the most important things to know. Um, Number one, because people with completely different body compositions can be the same scale weight, and one person can be vastly more healthy than the other. So, yeah, it's not going to tell you things like the amount of lean tissue that you have on your body. It's not going to tell you things like body fat percentage, that are just critical to understanding really what's going on and where you're at. Um, yeah, so without knowing those things, guiding your nutrition even is really difficult because, like I said, if someone is 200 pounds and the other person is also 200 pounds, but one of them is 13% body fat and one of them is 30% body fat, their nutritional needs are very different, like
Right.
hugely different.
Right.
So when it comes to like you're saying, like knowing how much to eat, um, that's critical. So if you've never done a scan and you just have no context for where you're at with body fat percentage and body composition overall, that's huge.
Yeah. And then the next step is taking that basal metabolic rate, right? What your body burns at rest. Having that number is super important too, because then you have your goals, how active you are in the day, how many times you work out a week, what it's like, what's your job like. And then what you can start to piece together with the help of either you, me, or Aiden is where's a starting point of how many calories you should be having in the day, right? Whether you count macros or not, whether you eyeball or not, right? Like a fist of protein, like that's a way to measure your food, those types of things. That would be the next step of creating a plan of, okay, how am I going to get this many calories in the day? And then the one-on-one aspect of the accountability and changing it and stuff like that. If you do nutrition coaching and you take it seriously and you listen to your coach, you'll see a lot of change.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the reality is that things are not clear cut in this day and age when it comes to eating food. It's just
Yeah.
there's so many modern conveniences that make it more complex than just eat enough until you're full and have a little bit of self-control and whatever you have access to, just apply that. Or even just like, oh, only control like the quantity and don't worry or the quality and don't worry so much about the quantity. Like, it's just the fact that we live in a world of convenience and
Mm-hmm.
things that are manufactured in insane laboratories to make money and be insanely satisfying to our brains in ways
Mm-hmm.
that are unnatural for real food. Like, there's so many complexities to navigate that. Um, Everyone needs help in just
Yeah.
figuring out, educating themselves on how to go about that in their lives, because it's I mean, we all have to eat, we all have to drink, and
Mm-hmm.
it's a requirement of life. And so
Yep.
you got to be informed, you got to be open to learning, and getting help with that is the way to go.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, reach out. We would love to help you sit down, create a plan with that. Because I do think it's probably the most important thing you could do in your
Yeah,
fitness and health journey.
yeah. What's something amazing that you saw in the open? Did you see any first time doing this, or some incredible performance from a member, or what was like a highlight for you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, oh, that second week always kind of is a workout like that is you always see hard work pay off. People who are working on their pull-ups, their strict pull-ups, never doing a chest to bar or whatever it may be and getting some. I think trying to remember, I'm not going to remember everybody, but I know Janie hadn't, I don't think, ever gotten chest to bars, and I think she got a bunch of them. Johnny, I don't know if she ever had done a pull-up, and she got through 20 of them. Sophia, I remember Sophia before the work. I've never done a pull-up before, and just did all 20 of them. That was crazy. Was it 20? Yeah, it's 20, right? Um, Milo, Milo was struggling with chest to bar. First time he went way too hot, got to the chest to bars, couldn't do one. We redid it on Monday with a little bit different strategy, and he ended up getting 14. That was really cool.
Nice, nice.
Um, I think just people, honestly, I just love the open because everyone comes in there, you're a little nervous. You're a little nervous, and you're like, oh, I think that second one, the 50-pound dumbbell, a lot of people don't use that 50-pound dumbbell or the 35-pound dumbbell in a workout because they usually do level two. They want to try RX, and the way people handled the 50 without doing it before. I'm trying to think muscle ups. James had just learned muscle ups. He got some muscle ups.
Nice.
Thomas and Jacob, they had just learned muscle ups within the last year, I think, and they finished that workout. That was really cool.
Amazing.
Um, I know Selena and Ree, they've been working hard on their pull ups. They got to the chest bars, got some chest bars. Really cool.
Did Joel get a
Oh,
first muscle up?
Joel got, I don't know if he's never done one before or it's been a really long time, but it might have been his first. I think he got two. Yeah, he got two.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then I think one of the coolest things I saw was Martha never had done a 14-pound wall ball and did 14 of them one at a time to a 9-foot target.
Martha the boss. That's awesome.
Martha the Boss Stein, yeah, that was incredible. I think, honestly, I'm just proud of everybody. I'm proud of everybody that showed up, that cheered, that it's such a cool community event. I think we kind of forget that. We kind of can think too much about, oh, I don't want to do the open. It's kind of nerve wracking. It's, all eyes are going to be on me when I do the workout. I don't want to be in that environment. And I would say it's not, yeah, maybe it's not for everyone, Friday Night Lights, doing the workout out on the floor. But I promise you that no one's thinking like, oh, they're doing bad or, oh, this. It's more of like they're cheering you on. They're helping you through it. And I think that is the essence of what we do in the everyday CrossFit class. Working out is really hard. You can work out on your own by yourself. You can do that. It's hard to do that, right? It takes a lot to be able to do that on your own and, be able to train on your own. But I think the coolest thing about a CrossFit class and a CrossFit affiliate is that you get to come in and you get to do it with people. And the Open is just, it's a spotlight on that. It's literally a spotlight on what we do every single day. The workouts aren't any different. You might push harder and it might seem harder because you push harder. But they're normal workouts, just like you would do in a class. And just when you come together and you see everybody sitting around and cheering each other on and judging and volunteering to judge and just being there after, hanging out, I think that's exactly what a CrossFit gym is and why it's so powerful. That you get to do all this hard work that is kind of contrary to our nature, our human nature. Our human nature wants to be comfortable. So it's really hard to get outside your comfort zone. And I think that is the biggest reason I want people to do the Open, is to get outside of your comfort zone. When you get outside of your comfort zone, you grow. And the Open is that. And it was an incredible 3 weeks. It was super smooth. I think we've got how to run the Open down where, just all the systems that we've put in place with the team, super helpful, and it goes really smoothly, and it's just a really good time.
Yeah. 100%, man. Well, catch us in a year. Catch us in a year. Jump back in.
Yep. Work on those strict pull-ups, people. Strict pull-ups. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. Strict pull-ups, handstand holds. If you want to work on something, we talked about just showing up, you'll see progress. There are things like skills, right? Like a muscle up, like a pull up, those types of things, handstand, push up, whatever it may be. We have coaches that can help you get that, right? Book a couple personal training sessions, invest in that, invest in their knowledge. We can set up a plan and get you those skills and get you confident in those skills and get you some virtuosity in those skills. And next year when it comes up again, you'll be able to do it.
Let's go. Nice, man. Okay, let's wrap up with a quick hit on things you wish you would have known when you started CrossFit. I'll start.
Yeah.
That you never know what movement is going to just take you forever to learn, but there's probably going to be one that just doesn't click with you, whether it's the coordination of it or like for some reason you can't wrap your head around it. For me, it was double unders. I want to say that it took me 4 years to be able to string together double unders.
Wow.
4 years of CrossFit. So all you people that are like started last week and you're like annoyed that you have to do single unders and workouts, you need some perspective. Okay.
Hey, I know some people who need to learn double unders. You know who you are.
And there's lots more. There's lots more drills and knowledge to go around about how to learn those than there was back then.
Sure.
But yeah,
that is a tough one. That one is, for some reason in high school basketball, our coaches made us do double unders with ropes that didn't have bearings on it. So
nice.
Practice. I don't know why they made us do that, but I think I came into CrossFit being able to do it because of my high school basketball coach. So
that's cool.
Thank you, Mr. Ekoff. Something I wish I would have known before starting CrossFit. I mean, I kind of learned it through CrossFit, but that nutrition is the most important thing that you can do for yourself. I came in, I was They called it the PB&J diet. All I would eat was PB&J and milk. And yeah, I wasn't feeling my body right. And once you started learning that, everything changes. And I think it's even more on a deeper level that when you come into CrossFit or you've been doing it for a long time, you still haven't done it. This is probably one of the most, like I said before, something that you should do.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's go another one. I'm gonna say that um, sleep is way more important than you think it is. It's way more important physically.
Yeah.
I would, the difference in recovery from like a 6 hour night of sleep to like 7.5 to 8 is like insane. So I wish I would have known that um, there's tons of different things that you could waste your time on that give you less time to sleep, and instead you should actually just prioritize sleep.
Yeah. I need to do that. I'm not the greatest at sleeping. Another one for me is I wish I would have known before coming to CrossFit that the way we work out is the most, I believe, the best way to work out. And I wish I would have started sooner because I think I had a very narrow minded approach to fitness. I played sports, but it wasn't until CrossFit that I understood that being the most well-rounded human being will make you the fittest, right? Where there's nothing wrong with training for a marathon. There's nothing wrong with powerlifting. There's nothing wrong with doing bodybuilding. But the cool thing is that when you put all those things together, you just become a powerhouse of a human being, and you get the fittest that you can possibly be and the healthiest that you possibly be, and it really works. I think whenever I see this too when you have consultations is, yeah, I go to the gym. I do the machines at Planet Fitness. It's like, that's awesome. I always tell them that is awesome that you're doing that. You're building muscle mass, but there's so much more that you're not tapping into in your health and fitness journey that will change your life, that will make you really fit. And really, I don't think I quite understood that till I took my L1. Right? It was
Yeah.
just competition mode when I started CrossFit. So probably double dipping here is I wish that I would have known that CrossFit isn't just about making it to the games.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. All right, another one for me. If you're not using your fitness to like do new things and play sports and just like have fun with that kind of thing, it's a total waste. Like you and I recently with a group of dudes have been doing things like playing tennis and golf, and I think next time we're gonna try and do some surfing, and it's like that's what we need to do with the fitness that we gain. It's not just so that you can like write numbers on a board and have it in this like very controlled environment. It's you got to get out there and enjoy it because
Yeah.
um yeah, it's a super valuable thing that you're gaining, like a capable, strong and fit body, and you got to use it in ways that's enjoyable. It'll motivate you more for fitness.
That reminds me of the fitness in 100 words. I'm
Learn
going
and
to read
play
it.
new sports.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to read it. Fitness 100 word. Eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, low starch, and no sugar. Keep intake levels that will support your exercise, but not body fat. Practice and train major lifts, deadlift, clean, squat, presses, clean and jerk, and snatch. Similarly, master the basics of gymnastics, pull-ups, dips, rope climbs, push-ups, sit-ups, press to handstand, pirouettes, flips, splits, and holds. Bike, run, swim, row, hard and fast, 5 or 6 days per week. Mix these elements in as many combinations and patterns as creativity will allow. Routine is the enemy. Keep workouts short and intense. Regularly learn and play new sports.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
All right, let's go one more.
One more. I wish things I learned, would I like to know for CrossFit? That form matters.
That's a
Form
good one.
matters. I found CrossFit on YouTube through Rich Froning, and I was doing it in the college basement or gym, and I basically taught myself to do all the things, and I taught myself to do it wrong. So when I did go into a CrossFit gym, I had to kind of relearn everything. So super important that when you come in, to listen to your coaches, right? We don't just, when we give you cues, when we try to fix things, we're not picking on you. We're not trying to make it hard on you. It's because that we know that when you move better, you can get fitter. Just more efficiency, more everything, and you stay safe. So
100%. Yeah.
I wish I would have learned that. I wish I would have put more emphasis on my form before I started.
Yeah, for sure. It's hard to go in the other direction and fix form issues, especially like all this kind of discussion we had around intensity and threshold training and pacing. All of that has to really be dictated by form. Like there's not just a scenario where you should just let your form go completely out the window and it's okay because you're getting intensity. Like that's never the right approach.
Right.
The form remains no matter what. And your
Yep.
goal is to increase your ability to have intensity with clean, solid, safe movement patterns.
Yep. Mechanics, consistency, intensity. That's the pattern.
That's it. That's it right there. All right, man. Well, this was fun wrapping up the open,
Yeah.
talking about all sorts of other things. Um, Catch us on the next one.
Yep. We'll see you soon. Like, share, subscribe, share it with people. We love doing this. We hope it's a big help to you guys listening. We'll see you later.
See ya.
3, 2,